Vinayak Damodar Savarkar. It's really unfortunate whenever the subject of Savarkar comes, he's solely being criticized for the mercy petitions he wrote to the British without acknowledging any of his sufferings or sacrifices for the nation. Savarkar was a renowned freedom fighter even before he got imprisoned. He was the first one who organized a student-led bonfire against the foreign governments, and he wrote a book about the mutiny of 1857. And he was the first one who referred the 1857 mutiny as the first war of Indian independence, and later on this book became a huge inspiration among the other revolutionaries like Bhagat Singh and Netaji. In 1909, the British Parliament passed an act called Morley Minto Reforms. Under this act, in India, the Muslim members should only be elected by Muslim voters. So why Damodar Savarkar was arrested for this is, he organized armed revolts against the British government for implementing this Morley Minto reforms. The magistrate of Nashik district AMT Jackson was shot dead by one of the members of Abhinav Bharat Society, a freedom fighters group which was formed by Veer Savarkar to assassinate the British officers in India, and this has become a huge attack for the Britishers. So for this case, Savarkar was arrested and was given 2 life imprisonments, totally 50 years in Kalapani. Whenever there is a discussion of Savarkar's legacy, people bring up the mercy petition he wrote to the British while he was in Kalapani. What most people fail to realize is that Savarkar's prison was not the hotel-style luxurious prison where national leaders like Nehruji and Gandhiji were imprisoned. In fact, there is a world of difference between these two. It's completely an understatement to say that the prison in Kalapani were horrifying. The jail was built in such a way that the prisoners could not communicate with each other in any way at all, and they got beaten up so badly even if they found talking to each other. There were 3 strategies used on the inmates: hunger, torture and isolation. The third one, isolation, was the harshest punishment of all. The prisoners were not allowed to sit from sunrise to sunset. The food was often contaminated and people got sick out of it, and they often got diarrhea, and they had only fixed timings to use the bathroom. So they were forced to defecate within their own cells and eat and sleep right at there. And there was an inhuman routine of punishments where the prisoners replaced with bullocks in extracting the oil. If they failed to meet the deadlines, they got beaten up so badly. And in 1933, when the prisoners decided to protest against the inhuman activities, they were forced fed during a hunger strike, and because of that, 2 young men from Punjab died of force feeding. Now, if you compare the condition of Kalapani with the condition of a prison where Congress leaders were imprisoned, it will make a world of difference. And it's surprising to know that none of the congressmen ever imprisoned in Kalapani. For example, if we take Nehruji, he was given a luxurious cell all to himself with an armchair, rocking chair, desk and a window. And let's not forget that he wrote a book called The Discovery of India when he was in jail. On the other hand, Savarkar used to write Marathi poems with his nails and charcoal on the walls of Kalapani. That's the difference between the two worlds. Those who are accusing him as a traitor for writing petitions, tell me one thing: you're tried in a case with no right to appeal or defense, and you got 2 life imprisonments totaling up to 50 years, and you're stuck in a small cell where you experience nothing but cruelty on a daily basis, and the only way to get out of that place is by writing petitions. What would you do? Won't you write that damn petition? This man spent 12 years in Kalapani, 2 years in Indian jail and 13 years under house arrest, totally lost 27 years of his life. His law degree was taken away, his family property was seized by the government, and all you care about is the petition he wrote. In Kalapani, he was given the worst kind of punishments. He was tied with chains, made to extract oil all day, being tied to the mills like a bullock, punished with standing handcuffed for days on end, and was denied even the basic human needs like toilet, water, and was given food that had pieces of insects and reptiles in it. As someone who studied law, he knew how it works, so he diplomatically tried to utilize the available ways that can get him out of there. Even in one of his petitions, he wrote that if the government think that it's only to affect my own release that I pen this, or if my name constitutes the chief obstacle in the granting of such an amnesty, then let the government omit my name in their amnesty and release all the rest. That would give me as great a satisfaction as my own release would do. And you call this man a traitor? A British officer called Reginald Craddock wrote a report after interviewing Savarkar that this man does not express any kind of regret or repentance for what he did. And you call this man a coward? And when Savarkar brothers approached Gandhiji for help, even he advised them to write a petition. because that was the only available way. Even Gandhiji wrote how patriotic Veer Savarkar was in his Young India newspaper. As it is, India is in danger of losing her faithful sons unless she wakes up in time. One of the brothers I know well, I had the pleasure of meeting him in London. He is brave, he is clever, he is a patriot, he was frankly a revolutionary. The evil in its hideous form of the present system of government, he saw much earlier than I did. He is in the Andamans for his having loved India too well. Even after being released from Kalapani, he was still secretly involved with revolutionary activities. Rajguru was one of his disciples. When Durga Babi attacked and fired at the Lamington police station in Mumbai, she was assisted by another disciple of Savarkar. Even her son was with Savarkar at that very time. The elder brother of Veer Savarkar went and met Chandrasekhar Azad and helped him with money. Azad was planning to shift to Maharashtra as he found out that there was a spy in his organization. But before he could do that, he was surrounded by police and then he shot himself. And all this happened when he was remaining under the observation of British. Even Indira Gandhi, the former Prime Minister of India, praised Savarkar when she was approached to celebrate the birth anniversary of him. She wrote Veer Savarkar's daring defense of the British government has its own importance in the annals of our freedom movement. I wish success to the plans to celebrate the birth anniversary of the remarkable son of India. To all those people who call him as a traitor, I simply ask, what got him into the Andaman jails in the first place? Was it not his constant revolutionary activities against the British? Therefore, how can one be fundamentally against the British and a British sympathizer at the same time? Even Gandhiji was released by the Britishers because of his ill health without any preconditions. But he is still a great leader and the father of nation. Savarkar's weight came down to 45 kg when he was in Kalapani. But if he writes a petition to come out of that cruel place, he becomes a traitor. What kind of logic is that? It's really disturbing that our national heroes, freedom fighters, are being insulted for petty political reasons. And the most funny part is the credibility and the patriotism of a man who lost everything he had while fighting for the nation is being questioned by the people who are debating over standing up for the 52-second national anthem in the cinema theatres.